Hello everyone. So this video is kind of interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry about this. This is the only figure I had that can practically come close to what we're talking about. And if you know where she's from, cool. Don't try and mention it though, because it's not a kid-friendly content. But you know how we all have like stuff with like so as you can tell from my channel, I used to do like anime and gaming stuff. But there's other stuff I like to look into, like science fiction, fantasy, and mythologies, which I like mythology a lot. They have pretty cool stuff throughout history. So I decided to do a video on probably my favorite thing from the fantasy base, and that's what this girl is, a dark elf. Now I will have a link in the description to my blog that talks about pretty much everything, all the characteristics to a dark elf. Because there's so many um, characteristics when it comes to dark elves, and it's hilarious to me how many people, when someone says dark elf, you think of something like this, but there's so much more to it. There's pretty much the only non-humanoid human thing out there because there's just so many varieties of them. So, and the reason I like them so much is because of the whole randomness. Because um, you go like if I like put it like this, let's say I give you a test, right? If I told you to go through every form of media, like a video, like a game of some sort, a book, a TV series, a movie. I told you to pick 10 different ones from the exact same thing, and I told you to tell me what the elves' pretty much concept was, you probably give me the same thing. Like there's something that lives forever, a humanoid with long ears, knows some kind of magic, skilled with a bow or sword, does all this stuff. If I told you to do the exact thing with a dark elf, you would not get that. You get a lot more. You get me like a book of things that each dark elf did. And we're just talking about basic versions. We're not talking about like higher up a dark elf, like a high elf, what else? A warrior elf, all that stuff. A dark elf is pretty much more complex than that when it comes to the whole fantasy stuff. Now, when it comes to a couple things I like to state that a dark elf. I just have the fact how dark elves don't get a lot of love. I know in D&D now they call them drow for some stupid reason, which is stupid. I grew up calling dark elf, therefore they'll always be a dark elf. Um, but I can see where a lot of people get mad because a lot of people view dark elves as the like evil entities. They weren't always evil. It just the stories and books always gave them the thing of, yeah, this is an evil entity. And like I said in the link, it tells you everything that you pretty much come through here. Like I put one thing there as a as lust driven. That was mostly in one of the stories out there that I read that had dark elves. They Female dark elves were just pretty much something that always wanted to get laid, which was crazy to me. I know something like that actually exists. It's hilarious. But another thing that I think is one of like how much more like when it came to a dark elf, how much weaponry do you get in it? Because they had your basic bow and arrow, they also had your basic sword, but they also used stuff like claymores, great swords, stuff like that, which I always thought was great when it came to these series. Now I do understand when it comes to today's culture, dark elves are either shown as evil entities or something that is just sexually driven. I'm like, and I don't like the sexually driven stuff. Like my friends can tell you, I hate the whole idea of stuff being sexualized to an extreme extent. And I know I'm being hypocritical with this thing, but bear with me. But you gotta take consideration, like the dark elves are probably one of the best things I have ever seen when it comes to fantasy based. Because I know we have other stuff out there, like if we go through if we go through D&D's crap of races and stuff you can play as, it's all just basic because you all stick to like a certain thing. Like, oh, okay, I'm an elf. I can do this, this, and this. Or I'm what do you call that one do? I'm trying to remember the name. I forget what it's like giant dude. I forget their name, but they're like pretty much known for being incredibly strong, bulky, mind, not all that intelligent, but incredibly powerful. Minotaurs, they're just a bull. Um, and it's all basic stuff. Everything else, but if you take like let's go through more of a, I don't know let's see, let's go through like mythologies. Most mythologies you get the exact same thing most of the time. Like let's take the Japanese Tengu. it's always the same thing. You have one of two species of Tengu. They're one species of Tengu. They always have like the whole um based on what they are and everything. Like the one with the long nose, that's like the humanoid Tengu. Is known for being a drunken alcoholic most of the time, really skilled with a sword, and has no problem mass murdering anybody. And that's that. Take history of a lot of mythology gods. They were practically the same thing throughout their whole existence. And I know there's been a few things over the years have been like the Oni from Japan, from Japanese lore, was once being thought as a bad creature that is now a guardian nowadays. But to me, that's what I like about the Dark Elves. They're pretty much the thing that stays. They're never consistent to begin with. They always had a different issue, and that's why I just think it's like they're one of the best things when it comes to fantasy. Well, if not the best thing, because they were always meant to be a creature that was more adaptable than regular elves. And I just love the fact that how they they do a lot of cool stuff throughout the forms of media. Like I play Drow and D&D in my D&D games I was in, and I picked the fighter thing. I kept the bow. Yeah, so in D&D I had a thing where if I were out in the light I couldn't see worth crap, but I gave myself a perk where I can pretty much be Hawkeye anytime I want, so I can just neutralize my own problem. But it's what like. I think Drows are probably, like I said, Drows are really cool to me. Even and it ain't because I'm a mad person or anything. It's cool to me because they are always so random in every story they're in. You can't actually say like, oh, they're this. No, that's not this. They're more complex. You can dig into it. Like what I have in that blog post I'm putting in the description. It's just the bare minimums. There's a lot more. That's like I said, it's a book for a report, and I'm not going. And my problem is the blog said I have so much data. I don't know if that's going to be enough. Also, I don't feel like sitting on my butt for 2 hours trying to type the whole list. So that's pretty much the whole thing of why Dark Elves are so great to me. So as going into there, like I said, go check out the blog post. It'll tell you more about it. They they have pictures on there for examples. Those, remember, I don't have rights to those pictures. I Google those, so I'm not trying to get in trouble about that. But I hope you enjoy and please have a nice day.